the low level. On the higher level, you hit on the higher level. So this is Lexile. Lexile Framework for Reading measures a person's reading ability, and it measures the text. It can do both of those. So if you will link to that Lexile framework.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm not finding this are you talking on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, on the advanced search.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it won't have it for every book.
Okay.
Did you find
But the
your book?
Lexile thing you're looking
Yeah,
at,
it won't have it on every book, but it will have it on, it'll have it on some. But you'll never find it if you don't scroll down.
Right.
And the idea is scroll down and see what kind of data is associated with that book. Because if you're already in Amazon and you're pulling up a lot of stuff, at least you can check and see if it's there. It doesn't have it for every book.
This one just says an age.
It has the age range. Okay, yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. Some will have a reading level, an interest level. Some will have the Lexile. It's not consistent at all. That's why I'm showing you several different ways to get that, because Amazon, we're in it so much, and sometimes we don't take clear advantage of what it has. I'm going to go show you some other things in Amazon, but I wanted you to kind of look at this Lexile level so that you have an understanding of what Lexile level is. Yeah.
Am I supposed to be looking at the product details? Is that what that's found, where it has like the publisher and the ISBN number?
Yeah. And that's usually, and unfortunately, instead of having it right there at the top, it's usually but under reviews and everything else that
I
you
wasn't
have to
seeing
go to.
any of those things. I want to make sure I was
Yeah, no, you're there. And it's just that sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Amazon is very inconsistent. But we use it so much, it's helpful to know what all you can get from it for some books, for many books. Okay. So Lexile, if you click on that, this is a really cool site. So you can enter a Lexile level and then find out what books are on that level, or you can search for a book up here at the top. You can search for a book, and so go ahead and search for your book.
so we're not in Amazon anymore, we're back on
we're
our.
going to go back to that, but I wanted to I should probably put Lexile level first. I think I'll switch that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Did everybody find their book? Just use one of those, that's fine. You've got at least the idea, you've got a list of books so you at least can see. And notice it gives you that Lexile level. That table again, you can see, you can find the grid, you can find the table, but again, it kind of shows you what level all of those books are, so that as you are developing, did you get in there? Okay. As you're developing your reading list, you can develop it for the individual reading level for your students if you need to. And you can find that Lexile table, grid. You can find it off of this site. You can find it off a lot of sites. I've done that on the Lit Library Research Guide. You're not always going to have access to that library research guide, so it's good for you now in class, but you're going to want to be aware of these tools long after this class. So make sure that you keep this somewhere where you can get back to it and it will remind you what it is.
Those of you who've already done tech ed, that list of, the assignment you did close to the end of the semester where you did the list of links for literacy and so forth, you can go back and add this to that. Those of you who haven't had ed tech yet, that would be one of those things that it's actually an assignment where you make websites that are useful for all the different things. So.
And if you'll notice, you have to get in there first to get to this category, these categories over here. But if you look over to your right side, then you have other options for searching. Age range, Lexile range, categories. Categories are like this, so that you can search by categories. You can search by adult-directed graphic novel, illustrated, page numbers. So all of those are ways that you can filter that search to really target the level that your student needs.
What is non-conforming?
I'm assuming, and I did not look that up, I'm assuming it is kind of maybe books that you have a protagonist that's non-conforming to, or it's either that or alternative lifestyles.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not sure, so I'd have to look it up with lifestyle, because this is something I hadn't seen before. So now, high-low. We're going to talk about that, but since it's here, I want to point it out to you. A high-low book are those books that are of high interest and low reading. So often it's abbreviated like HI-LO. You'll see that often. You'll see high-low, but in the library catalog, the actual heading is written out: high interest, low reading. Okay, and it's actually written out. So if you want to find books in our library or in other library catalogs that are of that high interest and low reading ability, you would actually write out high interest, low vocabulary. So I'm going to show you an example of that in our catalog. Remember, you would go to advanced search so that you're limiting to what? What do we limit here to make sure we get children's books? Remember? Okay, and remember that's on that library research guide too, but you want to limit it to juvenile books. I mean, you don't have to, but you're going to get all of the books that we have that are for academic purposes. So it saves you a lot of time to do that ahead of time and limit it by type. And again, it's word or phrase. So if I put in high interest and low vocabulary, I can't type. Then I'm going to pull up books that have been designated specifically in that category. And if I look at the barn and I look in more detail at the catalog record, I'll notice that it says genre, high-low, high interest, low reading, I should say low vocabulary. Sorry, low vocabulary books. And in this case, it also gives you the audience and it gives you the reading level. Now, we haven't been able to do that with every one of them, but we have whenever we find that, we try to do that. So, you know, it's not just a high-low book, but it also tells you the reading level and the interest level specifically, okay? So look through that catalog. You'll be looking at audience is 5th through 8th grade. That's kind of the interest level, but the reading level is 3rd grade. High interest, low vocabulary. Okay, so that's what this high-low stuff is. So if you may have a student that just struggles so much in reading, if they can get a graphic novel. I was talking to a kid in my Bible class. I'm teaching 6th grade right now, and he's got that action Bible. You know, it's a graphic Bible, and he said, "Yeah, this is great because when you're not really interested in reading and it's hard for you." I got into that and I started reading that, and then it made me want to read the Bible because I wanted to read the full story instead of, you know, because the pictures and stuff really engaged him, and it made him curious, and then he wanted to go ahead and read the actual book. You know, he wanted to read the Bible, and so graphic novels are a wonderful way to present information, and a lot of classics, a lot of books are being written as graphic novels just to give that introduction where students don't feel so frustrated because, and you know how animation and anime and all of that is just so prevalent. Cartoons, comics, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a way to engage them into reading without it being miserable for them to start with, and hopefully get them interested. Okay, so this is all out of that Lexile, and it is an accepted standard. And you'll find that a lot of databases, I'll probably just show it to you really quick as we go through because of time, but we'll even give you, in our EBSCO stuff, we'll even give you Lexile reading scores. So if you are doing a unit for a class, and you want to provide articles or something like that as choices, then you can look at that Lexile reading scores. And you can even maybe work them for the different levels of your students so that you can kind of tailor that to be able to hit the reading level for the students that are in your class individually. Okay. So, all right, so, sorry, I'm gone back, but I'm gonna switch that Lexile up to the top there, because that really should have been first to kind of explain what that is. Then when you're looking at Amazon, notice like this gives age range, grade level, Lexile score, it gives you a lot. But once you're in that advanced, you also have this link here, children's books, up at the menu bar. So if you guys will click on that, if you can get back into Amazon, go to the advanced search again, click on children's books. You have other options to search by over on this left-hand side. So that's why sometimes if you take the time to go into the advanced search and then explore things, you have so many different options once you start searching, rather than always just sticking with that basic search, okay? All right. There's a really cool site, and I just found this site as I was preparing for this class, and I love it. And it is a fantastic way to find interest level, reading level, and reading Lexile scores and stuff like that, okay? So this is this Renaissance Accelerated Book Reader. So if you'll click on that, and then you'll get to this page, and you can link to whatever category you are, but this is another really easy site, a super easy site for you to be able to share with parents too when they're looking. And if you click on that, then you can either put the title of your book in. Again, if you look at the advanced search, you'll see other options there by topic. So the book that you have, go ahead and type it in and see what you find. Okay, everybody got a book pulled up, or a list of books? Okay, so as you're looking at this, pull up an actual book. I put in Tom Sawyer because I wanted to, there's a lot of different levels of Tom Sawyer. You have books that are for very young children. You have the actual book that Mark Twain wrote, unadapted and unabridged. But you have a whole lot of different reading skills. So if you were an English teacher and reading Tom Sawyer, and you had somebody in your class who was maybe ESL or very low reading, you could find another book about Tom Sawyer that they could read at home that maybe would give them the overview and an idea about Tom Sawyer, and still be able to read the book Tom Sawyer, even if they're not reading the total unabridged Tom Sawyer, okay? So there's a lot of the classics and books like that that are written at different levels. But if you look at your book, you'll notice that it gives interest level, and if it is a high-low book, it'll give reading level and interest level. It'll give you both of those. We're going to talk, do you know what ATO, I tried to find out what ATOS stood for, but I couldn't find out what it stood for. I just kept seeing the word ATO, the acronym ATOS. So I'm not sure what that is, but they will have, I'll show you the ATOS stuff. It's really neat because there's even an analyzer where you can go in and you can put a text, you can put an excerpt in, you can put a whole book in, and it will tell you the reading level of that book. But if you, for example, have a newspaper article and you want to find out what that reading level is, you can put in some of that newspaper article and find out the reading level. It's really
Guys,
cool.
I know Lexile was in the chapter. Did you guys see the ATOS in there?
you didn't see ATOS? Okay. I'm not sure why to stay